Hi there, my name is Leif Gregerson. I'm with Healthy Place Blog's Mental Health Stigma blog, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about my own experiences with mental health stigma and how it affected my treatment. Early on in my life, I can recall when I was about 16 or 17, I went through some pretty serious depressions, and I didn't understand that there was anything different about me, that I needed medication, that I needed treatment. I had never had treatment before, except for seeing a psychiatrist when I was 14 and not being told much really about what was wrong. I went through these depressions, and one of the first things I tried to do was to tell my mom about them. And she was going to actually allow me to take one of her psychiatrist appointments to go in and talk to the doctor about getting help. But I got scared about doing that, and I feared the doctor because the last time I had talked to the same man, I had been put in a psychiatric ward, and I thought that was a terrible experience. But the sad thing was that because I let things boil up over time, I ended up going to a psychiatric hospital, which can often be much worse than a psychiatric ward. And I had a very difficult time. There was another time where I went to one of my best friends and I told him about, my feelings about mental health and all that stuff. And the fact was, he laughed at me, and it was very hard to cope with. And so these instances about the doctor and my friend, they sort of made me sort of just swallow the pain of having depression, swallow the pain of loneliness, and I shouldn't have had to. And over time, as I got worse, I ended up, quite sick. And when I finally did admit years later that I had an illness that needed treatment and I needed to take my medications exactly as prescribed, I found a situation that helped the stigma so much was that I moved into a group home where everyone in the group home had a mental illness except the staff who had training to deal with someone with a mental illness. And I found that losing the stigma this way, there was no stigma because of this situation. And I found that being in a place without stigma like that really allowed me to live my life and to be happy and to grow. And I've gone on, I've traveled overseas a couple of times over both oceans and or over Pacific and Atlantic, I should say. And I've done so many things. I've written 10 books, and it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't found a place that was safe for me, where there was no stigma, where I could make friendships, where I could live my life. And I hope that some of you can find a way to do the same and to overcome stigma in your life, because life really can get so much better.